When I'm running, things just fall into place. I don't think when I run. My feet just fall in the right place, push off in perfect balance. When I'm running, I never doubt myself. I never doubt my step. I never doubt my legs or my head. My name is Petrice Jones and I'm playing the character of Emerson. Emerson is a very troubled young man. He only about 6 weeks ago lost his mother to a heroin overdose. It was obviously very traumatic for him, and he's grieving and he's doing a bit of soul searching throughout the whole play. He's not really sure if he's coming or going. He's kind of got one other person in his life that kind of really means anything to him, who is Hayley, who plays his girlfriend, and he's sort of plodding along, trying to find out what he's supposed to be doing, and he's committed a very serious crime. He's very badly hurt the person that sold his mother to drugs, and it kind of unravels from there in looking into new technologies and justifying whether he was responsible for his actions or if he was kind of predisposed to doing it already. Do I think I'm anything like Emerson? Yes, I think there's some things. He's a very physical person. I'm quite a physical person, and he is a very nice person. He does like life. He's not very sort of downhearted, which is quite easy to think that about him with how many scenes that he is quite aggressive in the play. I'm not a particularly aggressive person in general, but yeah, I don't think he's too far away from me, other than this idea of a disorder. Then again, we don't really know if he actually has it or not. So yeah, I think there is some bits of Emerson in Petrice. I'm enjoying showing Emerson's journey because Emerson is a free runner. He does parkour, and through the play, the way we displayed his losing his ability, almost like Spider-Man losing his powers kind of thing. The way we display that is through him running, and throughout the play he almost loses the ability to run. A lot of it is in his head. A lot of scenes take place in his head. So yeah, I really enjoy showing those scenes and showing this sort of inability to run, and this kind of getting to this point where I've almost lost who I am. Favourite scene? I'd have to say the final scene. I don't actually have any lines in the final scene, but there's a scene between Jeanette and Hayley. It's placed 7 years on from where the rest of the play is. Everyone's kind of grown up. Hayley's become a lawyer. Jeanette is still working in neuroscience, and there's kind of this push and pull, as there is kind of 7 years before with the case of Emerson. Hayley doesn't believe that using this kind of scientific experiments on people to see whether they have these things wrong with them is right. She's more of a psychiatric person. She believes that he should see proper doctors, and Jeanette is very much other end of the scale. And Jeanette is very much in power in this scene because she is associated with the justice system. So she is the authority throughout most of the play. And then coming to the end, there's this kind of shift in status between them both, and they're kind of standing at both ends of the stage, and they're both battling for what they believe is right. And it's not just about Emerson, it's about using this whole system as a unit in the judicial system. So they kind of talk about preventative treatments and stuff like that, stopping people from doing something before they're going to do it. So it's really interesting to see how Hayley comes up and kind of rises up against this whole thing. And that, for me, is probably one of the best scenes, and she really sort of acts out about how she feels about the whole technology as a whole, and particularly Emerson's situation, Emerson's offence. The thing that interests me most is because I don't know a hell of a lot about neuroscience, but what has really interested me is the ethics of science. Because I always had this kind of idea about when people make something, is it used as a weapon, and when will it be used as a weapon, and when do we kind of stop using technology to justify things that are wrong with the world, kind of thing. And that's kind of the politics in this is kind of where that's going. It's kind of, are you responsible? He pleads diminished responsibility for this sort of savage act, as they name it quite a few times in the play. And then they've got this technology that can prove that now. And then so later on down the line, this kind of bar for responsibility is going to kind of move this way, because they go, well, we can see further into the brain now with more MRI and fMRI scans, being more in depth and seeing more elements to the brain. And going, well, actually, he was already predisposed to this, or she was already predisposed to that. So then it becomes a case of who is actually responsible for their actions. And there's been a lot of cases, like Charles Whitman, who had I think it was a tumour of some sort, and it made him do something awful. It made him kill his mother and kill his wife. He wrote a suicide note saying that he felt something different and he wanted an autopsy, and then went and killed 14 people. So there you can kind of see, and prior to that he had nothing wrong with him. So you can kind of see where that might be. Maybe is it your mind or is it your brain? Are they together? Is it a physical thing that's already there, or is it your decision? So there's been a whole big debate around free will. I think for me that's probably what we are asking everybody we take this play to is, do you believe in free will? Is it your responsibility to not hit that person? Is it your responsibility to not say that thing? About the tour, I'm so excited. I'm really excited about it. Obviously we've only taken the stage down and up a couple of times throughout the rehearsal process, so I think it's going to be interesting to see how we do that every morning, and then get into character, then go and warm up and do all the rest of it. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting sitting in a van for 7 hours every weekend with the same 6 people, amazing people, but yeah, 6 hours of the week in the car with them. I don't know. It's it's going to be very interesting, but I think it's going to be quite difficult. 10 weeks is a long tour. It's a lot of work setting up stage, a very heavy stage. Yeah, but I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be. I'm quite looking forward to the debate as well. I think that's going to be one of the most interesting parts of it, because I think that's when you can use your character the most, because you can improvise and you can say what you feel, and it's not necessarily so scripted. So I'm quite looking forward to that, and I think that would be a very interesting part of it. And I think that will really develop throughout the course of the tour.